how to play I'm His, He's Mine by Katy Perry on piano part 1. So, I'm going to try and make this as simple as possible, but I'm going to do a little bit of theory to start off with. Basically, we're going to do a simple version, then a complicated version. Simple version, this is the scale of B flat, which this song is in. These are the notes of the scale: B flat, C, D, E flat, F, G, A, and then back to B flat, okay? Now, as you'll see, the key thing, just the only thing you need to know is all white notes, okay? So it would be like this, B, C, D, E, F, G, A, B. And just by the way, to find, the key thing you need to know is where C is. It's next to the 2 black notes. To the left of 2 black notes, you've got a C. Same up every octave, same here. To the left of 2 black notes, you've got a C, okay? Now, B is obviously before C. So that's going to be the scale: B, C, D, E, F, G, A, B. The only thing you need to know is B's and E's are always flat. Now a flat is simply the black note to the left of the white key. So we never play B or E, they're always flat. So the scale is actually B flat, C, D, E flat, F, G, A, B flat, okay? To make a simple chord, and this is what you need to know to play the simple version of this, you take any note from the scale. Let's take a D. Now remember, C is next to the 2 black notes, so D is the one, there's one up. So you take a D, you go up 2, you take the next note of the scale, go up 2, and take the next note of the scale. So a D chord is actually D minor, is D, F, and A. And you need to know this in order to play the song. Basically, you'll probably want to use those 3 fingers if you're a beginner. I suggest you learn to do it properly. Use thumb, middle finger, and little finger. Initially, you'll probably find you struggle not to push down the other notes. What I suggest you do is you just play all of them, then take the index finger, lift it up, take the ring finger up, and try and pull them. And eventually, over time, if you keep doing that every day, you'll eventually learn to lift them like that. Get a nice clean chord. Obviously, if you don't want to do that, just use those 3 fingers. So, that's how you make a chord. Now, here's the chords for the song. You've got 4 chords. And then just a 5th chord is a G at the bottom, across the bottom. So there's only 5 chords. First of all, let's do the bass, the left hand, because this shows you what the chords are. So the 4 chords are going to be D, the bass notes, which is the bottom note of a chord, is going to be D, E flat, A, and then A flat. Okay, but this is the 3rd, the 4th, the 7th, and then the flat 7th of the scale. So, you probably can't see that. Okay, 3rd, the 4th, 7th, and then the flat 7th. Let me show you this on the scale. So we're going to go from the 3rd to the 4th. So it's D to E flat is the first 2. Then we're going to go A, and then it's a flat and 7th, A flat. So let me show you this. D, left hand, take your little finger, put it on a D. Remember, you find a C, you just go to the left of the 2 black notes, that's a C. We want to come up to a D. So your little finger's going to play a D. Now we're going to go from 3 to 4. Now remember, you never play an E. E's are always flat. So we're going to go from 3 to 4, which is D to E flat in this scale. Okay? So little finger, and then I'm putting my ring finger on there. That's the first 2 notes. Then I'm going to put my thumb on the 7th, which is A. And A flat, it's a flat 7th is next. You flatten it down to the black note to the left of the A. Alright? So it's going to go D, E flat, A flat. It's quite nice. So I'm going to use my little finger, ring finger, thumb, index finger. That's your 4 chords. And then there's a G afterwards, which we'll come to in a second, which you can use your thumb for. Put the G in a second. But let's get those 4 chords first. So it goes little finger on D, there, ring finger on E flat, then going up to the 7, thumb on A, and then index finger on A flat. Just get that first, and that's your 4 chords for the first line. Alright? Just get that first. Okay? And then let's do the chords. Now, I'm going to try and keep it just simple like it was before. So the first chord is going to be the D minor. This is the right hand now. So we're doing a D again on this, using exactly as we did on the left. Your thumb's going to go on the D. Now remember, to make a chord, you go 2 up, so it would be F, 2 up, and you go A. So that's going to be your first chord, D minor. Hope that makes sense. Alright, we're going to play each chord twice. So here it goes, D minor, twice. Don't worry about the minor bit. You don't need to know about that for now, alright? You're just playing a D chord within this key. So this is D minor, play it twice. Next we're going to play E flat. Now, there are basically 3 classes of chords. There's white chords, which is what we're playing here. There's also another class of chord called black, white, black chords, and that's what we're going to do for the E flat. Now, the great thing about chords is the bottom and the top note are always the same color. So this is an E flat chord. Let me show you on here. So we're going to, remember what I said, you take any note from scales. This is E flat, we're putting our thumb on E flat, you go up 2, you got a G, and go up 2, and then you got a B flat. Remember I said the bottom and the top are always the same color. So if the bottom note's black, the top note's black, and you got a white note in the middle. So this is a second class of chords, black, white, black. And you're going to see another one of these in a second. So we've got a white, white, white chord, which is the D minor. Now we're going to move up to E flat, from D to E flat, and it's a black, white, black. But the important thing is it's E flat, 2 up, G, 2 up, B flat. Okay? We're going to play these twice each. So it's going to go D flat, D flat, E flat, E flat. All right? You've got to get those 2 chords first before we go any further. So you basically you're basically going to do, yeah, you're just going to have to practice it. Just practice going from there twice. Lift your hand up. So you've got 3 white notes. Thumb and your little finger are now going to move. The best way of doing this, I'd say, is firstly get the thumb and the little finger to move up to those 2 black notes. So you're going from D and A up to E flat and B flat, which are, so we can get this back. There you go. This is the bottom and the top of the 2 black notes, E flat and B flat. There you go. So you're going to go from D and A. You're going to move your thumb up to E flat and your little finger up to B flat. Nice move like that. All right. And then you just got to go put the middle finger in, which is the F. Then you move these up, and then your middle finger's going from F to G like that. So you're going to go F, and then the middle finger goes to G, and you come up to these black notes. That's your first 2 chords. 1, 2, and this is the simple version. There's the proper jazz chords. I'll show you in another part of the video, but they're quite cool. But it's good. It's quite easy to do them. Well, it's the best way of doing them is learning these first, and then you can add the 7ths afterwards. So this is a simpler version. We're going to go 1, 2, 1, 2. All right. Then the next 2, you can put the bass in. Well, if you want to do the bass, you just play the bass once at the beginning of the chord. So you go, oh no, you play it with the chord. So you play the bass twice. Remember we did the bass is D, then E flat. So it would be putting the bass in, it'd be twice, and then we're going to go to E flat. Okay? So it's 1, 2, 1, 2. Again, the rhythm is more complicated. I'll show you the rhythm in a later part. But for now, we're just going to do basic chords, okay? So that's great. You've now done the first 2. Next 2 are pretty simple, actually. Now remember the thumb, you're going from A to A flat. Chord's really easy here for the A minor. It's a white, white, white chord. So we're going to go A. Actually, 2 up. You see there's B flat. The next note, you see this is the B flat. It's the same note at the bottom. So the next note is C. So you're going to go A, 2 up. So this would be like A, B, C would be the next note. We're going to roll down here so you can see it. So we're going to go A, 2 up, would then be C, and 2 up is E flat. But we're actually going to do, change this slightly. We're going to put an E in here, just to be annoying, instead of an E flat. But it's a nice simple chord. It's an A minor chord. It's just 3 white notes. It's that first class of chord, very easy, white, white, white. All right? So that's your... that's the next chord, the A minor chord. There you go. And lastly, we're going to do an A flat chord. And this is a black, white, black chord again. And it fits the key, so it's easy to find. This one goes... No, it doesn't fit the key at all. I lied. But this is very similar to the one you did before, black, white, black. You keep the middle finger where it is on the C. All you can do is take these edge fingers, the A and the E, and move them back to A flat and E flat. This chord is out of key. It's the A chord flattened. So we're gonna go basically take these edges, A and E, move them down to A flat and E flat. Okay? So, and then your middle note stays the same. It's on C for both of them. You see what I mean? C both times. You just take the edges and move them down to the black notes. 1, 2, 1, 2. Okay? And that would be the basic chords for that. And you put the bass with it, you've got your A and your A flat. So it's 1, 2, 1, 2. Alright? So let's put all that together now. If I go back to these chords, we're going to go D minor twice, to E flat twice, to A minor twice, to A flat twice. I don't know whether I should break that down more. I can't do much more for you with that. You just got to go through each component bit by bit till you get it perfect. This is a simple version, by the way, but it's quite nice, isn't it? Already sounds quite like it. These are the basic chords. Now the last chord is a G. With the left hand, I would then, so you've got an A flat, put your thumb under, and you can play a G. And all you do is just keep playing the G with your thumb there. So it's, and then the thumb goes to the G. All right. G chord would be, well, it would be, it's a G minor actually, it would be. Oops. So we're going to do the G chord now, exactly the same as before. We're going to go G, find a G. How do we find a G? We go C. You remember it's next to the two black notes. You go C, D, E, F, G. Okay, that's your G. You go G, up 2 is B flat. That's fine. We can put B flat in. That's fine. And then 2 up from B flat. The next one, 2 up from B flat is D. So you go. That'd be your G minor chord. All right. But we're going to do something slightly different. We're going to do G sus2. So instead of a G minor, we're going to replace a sus2 basically. You take the middle. If this is the first note, that would be the first note. If it's a G minor, that would be the first note of the scale, third note of the scale, fifth note of the scale. So it's 1, 3, and 5 in the scale. Now for a sus2, you simply take the third and move it down to a second. So that's what we're going to play instead. We're just going to play, so instead of putting the middle finger in, we're putting the second finger, the index finger in, so it goes G, A, and D. So we're playing those two next to each other instead of the middle note, which would have been a B flat. We're doing an A. So we're going, get the sheet back. We're going to go G and A at the bottom. And then the little finger goes on D. All right? And that's going to be for the whole of the bottom line. Actually, we're going to do G sus2 all the way through. And it's going to be 2, 2, 2, and 2. If my maths is right, 8. Yes. So it's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Whole thing. Going to go from the D minor twice, E flat twice, A minor twice, A flat twice, and then G sus2 8 times. One more time, all right? D minor twice, E flat twice, A minor twice, A flat twice, and then G sus2. 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't know how I can break that down more. You're just going to have to work through all the pieces, all the components until you get it. Now, in the next section, I'll either teach you the rhythm. I think I'll teach you the rhythm in the next section. And then, or maybe the jazz chords. So I'm going to do jazz chords and the rhythm in 2 more sections. I think for beginners, the rhythm will be really useful now. You can use these chords, get the rhythm right. It will sound pretty cool. It will sound like this, like... yeah. So I think that sounds pretty cool. Have I got that rhythm right? It's slightly different, so it's... That's what you're going to do. That's with the simple chords. That's what it'll sound like. So we'll go to part 2 now. I'll do the rhythm. Then in part 3, if you want to do the jazz chords, which are really cool, I'll do that in part 3. So move to part 2 now if you want to learn the rhythm.